Glenn?
No, but it seems like whatever's happening in the United States seems to be happening all over the world, because it's a similar story to what we've heard in some of the other countries that we've spoken to and lots of the other areas, and especially over time. It like never changes, so it's the same old thing. So back to you.
Yeah, it's the same pattern. Now, when I was talking to Glenn earlier, I found out that his dad's tool system is called IDA, and I don't remember what that stands for, but it was started by Bert Gulick, who is based in the United States, and I think he was under the Jaeger system originally, but he expanded in Australia, and I guess he started his own tool scam system down there. For those folks, so that's kind of some background as far as where Glenn's upline came from, or I guess his dad's upline as well. And I was doing some reading the other day too, Glenn, that a few years ago, like in 2008 or so, there was a big group that got kicked out of Amway, led by Orrin Woodward, and apparently when he went to Mona V, which is a juice drink MLM that has subsequently been bought out by another company. Apparently, he took several Australian high-level pins with him and his group over to Mona V, and there was some controversy over that. As far as all these high-level Australian distributors leaving and joining another MLM, and Amway got involved, corporate. Not that they could do much about it, but it was, an interesting reminder, because I think I've come across it before, but it's been years and years ago. But those things go on all the time too, where, especially high-level distributors leave to another MLM, particularly new ones, because they're trying to grow their volume, and they pay them big bucks to come over with their group so that they can start making money, because it's all about products as far as the MLM company is concerned, whereas with the distributors, it's mostly about the tools and the tool profits. So, Glenn, was there anything more you wanted to mention about your Amway experience? Because I wanted to get into this video between Tim Sales being interviewed by Spencer Cornelia.
No, I think but I just, with the story of the $50, he made it sound like that's what happened every time he did his grocery shopping, that he'd get a $50 check from Amway, and that's clearly not the way it works. It's when you start, I think you start here at 3%. So
yes,
if you spend $100 on groceries, you'd get $3 back. It's just it was just to me right. It was a deliberate lie. So. And
yeah, so that was enough for you to say I'm not doing this.
No, that wasn't enough straight up. That was the first red flag, and then there was the constant pressure about buying books and buying tapes, and there was also the sponsor talked about there was this amazing day we had to be at. It only cost $25, and we were going to learn so much. And all they did for about 2 hours was preach to us about buying the Amway products. It was. I remember just sitting there going, "All right, come on, all right, buy Amway products. What else you got?" And there was nothing else.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And like Peter said, that's an exact template of the United States. I mean, what you're describing is exactly. In fact, my upline had a saying, and it was "Buy from yourself and teach others to do the same." There was no mention of retail sales. And, technically you're not buying from yourself, you're buying from Amway, but because you're getting a rebate, it's kind of like buying from your own business. I understand the turn of phrase there. But yeah, it's so similar. And of course it should be similar because, Bert Gulick was based in the United States and brought his techniques to Australia. So,
yeah. Well, but one thing though, if you own a bakery, for example, and, you talk about you'd buy your own bread. Well, a bakery, to make a loaf of bread, it might cost the bakery 6 cents because, things like that are very cheap to produce. If you were to buy something from Amway, not only is it not costing you less than what it would in a shop, it's costing you significantly more. So the two examples are so different, it's not even funny. That's how different the examples are. Normally, right. If you buy something from your own business, you're paying a fraction of what a person would be paying for that in a shop.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. I mean, when I heard it, I understood that I wasn't really buying for myself because I wasn't manufacturing anything, but I understood the philosophy behind it. So I didn't think it was a big deal. I know a lot of people do, and it's okay. We can have different opinions. This isn't Marco's show. We're not going to slam you for having a different opinion, okay?
Well, I think, though, that people that understand how cheap it is to produce things when they're being produced in bulk and in mass, I think people, if you understand that, you understand it then becomes more absurd what they're saying when they're saying just buy from your own business. People that would understand, well, you look at the Amway vitamins, they would cost nothing to make, almost nothing to make. So the idea that you own the vitamin company, the vitamins would cost you nothing.
Right. In fact, that was part of our marketing plan. When we showed the marketing plan to prospects, we would describe that a typical manufacturer, and it varies, depending on the product type and everything, but just as an average, the cost of a product to manufacture is 20 or 30% of the eventual retail cost. And so, the manufacturer, it might cost them 10% of the total cost, and they mark it up, by 100% and sell it to the distributor, that picks it up from them. They might, charge them twice as much as it cost them to produce. So now we're up to 20%, and they keep that 10% as profit. And then the distributor takes it, moves it out to, the distribution system and, moves it to smaller distributors, and he has his markup. And by the time it gets to the retail store, it's probably about half of the retail cost. And then the store marks it up by, roughly another 100% because, they have employees they have to pay. They have utilities, they have insurance, they have taxes, they have all kinds of overhead costs. And so they have to mark it up in order to recover those costs and make a profit. And so that's how a product gets to be, a retail cost. And we put that right in our marketing plan. That was something that we described to people. And the difference that we told them was that instead of having all these middlemen, we get our products directly from Amway, the manufacturer, and then we deliver it straight to you, which leaves a big chunk of money that the distribution system and the store was taking, and we put it into the bonus plan, so it goes into the distributors' pockets, the MLM distributors' pocket. So that was part of our marketing plan, that the manufacturing cost was just a fraction of the eventual retail cost, and so that was very clearly laid out. Now, in reality, what happens is,
but I think that's actually they're overstating the manufacturing cost. Like, if you look at, say, the energy drinks, I don't know if in Amway has the energy drinks in America, but here, one of the main things that have these energy drinks called excess energy. My dad has only literally drank excess energy and water for the last 15 years. If you go into his fridge, it's just full of excess energy. There's no other drink other than excess energy. But they reckon like a liter of Coke costs 3 cents a liter to make, right? So if Coke's costing 3 cents, the $15 a liter excess energy drink, it couldn't be costing double. So when you're looking at the margins and what they're selling it for, their profit margin is astronomical.
Yeah, and on top of that, the Amway products are usually more than what you can find at a store. So the fact that the distributors are, making some of that difference between the manufacturing cost and the retail cost is a little bit of a misnomer, because, if the distribution system was efficient, then the Amway products should be competitively priced, but they're not. And that's, the beef that I have, with Amway and other MLMs, is by the time they get to even the distributor cost, and I'm not talking about full retail, just the distributor cost, which is lower, they're more expensive than what you can find in a typical store. So, it's multiple layers of lies. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, there are some things that might cost 2 or 3 or 5% of the eventual retail price. And so all of those things are marked up even more than if you start out at